Hello everyone. It's summer, it's hot. If I need water, I will say 我要喝水,我要喝水. However, if someone jump out and tells me 不对,不对, it should be 喝水,喝水, I will be like, what's wrong with you? Well, as a teacher, of course, I understand where that comes from. Because in mainstream Chinese teaching, we always say that we have 5 levels of pitches. 5 is the highest pitch and 1 is the lowest. As you can see, tone 1 is from 5 to 5, always highest. Tone 2 from 3 to 5. Tone 3 from 2 to 1, then to 4, a big curve. And tone 4 from 5 to 1, the highest pitch to the lowest. Well, if we adapt this same rule to a long sentence, it will sound like 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影. Wow! Congratulations! This rule successfully turned you into a robot. Well, so what went wrong? The mainstream Chinese pronunciation teaching with too much focus on the individual pinyin and the 4 tones. In a Chinese classroom, if you made a mistake, the teacher will help you correct the individual pinyin and the individual tone. It's not focusing on the whole sentence. Therefore, this series I make is only focused on the pronunciation rules for Chinese sentences. After all, our goal is to be a fluent Chinese speaker. So in today's episode, I will introduce you all the fundamental pronunciation rules for the Chinese sentences. So let's see the same sentence one more time. I will read as a native Chinese speaker. 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影. One more time. 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影. Let's compare this one with what Mr.Robot said. And we can clearly see that the range of the pitches is relatively narrow. While on the other hand, Mr.Robot has this up and downs very dramatically. And in real life, no need to be that much up and downs. Secondly, even for the same tone, they are not at a fixed pitch level. For example, 他星期天, they are all in tone 1, but 天 has higher pitch than the previous ones. Again, 长长, both are second tone, but the second 长 has higher pitch than the first 长. The next observation is that the length of each pinyin are different. This is because the position of each pinyin are different in each chunks. As you can see, I have divided this sentence into different chunks. So we have to put the stress on the last pinyin with tone mark in each chunk. Therefore, 天长姐院 and 影 they are the last pinyin with tone mark in each chunks. Therefore, we have to give extra stress to them with longer length and a slightly higher pitch. So therefore, it will be 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影. The next observation is that the end pitch of the previous pinyin is helping the next pinyin to pronounce more fluently. Therefore, as you can see, 长长, they are both second tone. Instead of giving a lot of effort to say 长长, in real life, the end of the first 长 will be the beginning of the second 长. So it will sound like 长长, 长长. It sounds more authentic and more fluent. Well, now we have all the observations here. The question is, how do we adapt our pronunciation to those? Now I'm going to share with you 4 practical pronunciation tips for Chinese sentences. Firstly, to put the right pauses in the sentence. Before you say anything, think about the meaning and try to chunking the sentence based on the meaning. And then you put a stress on the last pinyin with tone mark of each chunk. The next tip is to mend the layers of the chunks. Think about which chunk it has to be highlighted in order to convey your meaning to the listener more clearly. For example, if you want to clarify that it's Sunday he's going to watch movie with sister, then on Sunday, this part has higher pitch, more stress compared to the other chunks. 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影。And if you want to clarify it with older sister that you are going to watch movie, not father or your friend, then 跟姐姐 with older sister, this chunk has to be higher pitch than the rest of the chunks. 他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影。他星期天常常跟姐姐去电影院看电影。Very good. And last but not least, to keep the flow, try to feel the rhythm, feel the waving up and downs, and don't stop in the middle of the sentence. As you know that the Chinese sentence order, we always talk about the context, the location, the people, the time, before we are saying the main action. Therefore, if you try to correct yourself in the middle of the sentence, the listener will get confused because the sentence is incomplete. I would like to share an interesting story with you guys. When I was in college, I shared a dorm with 7 people. They all come from different regions of China. They speak dialect with their parents, and their Mandarin is strongly influenced by their dialects. Therefore, the tones are all over the places. However, I was still able to manage to understand them without any problem, because when we communicate, they use the right pause, right stress, they have this right rhythm, right layers of the stress in the sentence, and they keep the flow. Therefore, there's no problem to understand them. You can do the same thing too. I know, at this stage you may wondering, hey teacher, how can I able to say a sentence like that immediately? Don't worry, today is just sharing with you the fundamental rules. But next episode, we are actually going back to the very beginning. We will start working on those very simple short sentences to help you build up confidence. And then little by little, we are going to make the sentence longer, so you will become a very fluent Chinese speaker in the near future. Therefore, make sure to subscribe my YouTube channel today so that you won't miss any pronunciation tips for the sentences in future. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next episode. 谢谢大家，再见。